Well, good evening, everybody. Down by my feet is Jock, and this is Old Jock. You can see it, Old Jock Scotch Ale. Very nice it is too. So it's nearly 8:45 my time. I'm just recording this now, so I don't mind if I do. And cheers, everybody. They keep talking till they're walking. Coming along very well indeed. But I wanted to share some of Kathleen Zellner's tweets today. So let's just jump straight into them. Let's do this. Let's cross to here, click on screen share. And we have, as you can see, Kathleen Zellner, she did 3 tweets in the space of, it's about 8 minutes. So literally just a few seconds, leave them. So Kathleen Zellner 4 hours ago tweeted, new witness comes forward in Steve Avery's case, says he saw nephew pushing Teresa Halbach's SUV into the junkyard. And then if we move on up, so that's an article in yahoo.com. Here we have the same people. Delivery driver saw Stephen Avery's nephew move Teresa Halbach's car. And probably the biggest one of all, to all Stephen Avery supporters, thank you for all the tips on the accomplice. We should have him identified very quickly. Let's have a look then at one of those articles. Let me just do this very quickly. And let's have a look at the Yahoo article. Screen again. So, new witness comes forward in Stephen Avery case, says he saw nephew pushing Teresa's SUV into the junkyard. This is Jill Sederstrom of Yahoo. A new witness has come forward with testimony that could upend the infamous Making a Murderer case, according to the attorney working on Stephen Avery's appeal. A quick recap. Stephen and his nephew, Brendan, were convicted in 2007 of murdering Teresa Halbach 2 years earlier. Teresa, a photographer who worked for an automotive production, had visited Steve's home in Manitowoc County. Not quite right, hadn't visited Steve's home, had visited near more the Barb Yander residence. But anyway, in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, October the 31st, 2005, in order to photograph a vehicle he'd put on for sale. Again, you got that bit wrong, but never mind. Okay. She disappeared after that scheduled appointment. Her Toyota RAV4 was subsequently found in the salvage yard, Avery doesn't own it anyway, but located near his home. And investigators discovered charred bones in a burn pit on the property that they later identified as Teresa's, leading to Steve's arrest. Following their convictions, Steve and Brendan, who was just 16 at the time of Teresa's murder, were sentenced to life in prison. In the latest development, Steve's attorney, Kathleen Zellner, filed a new motion Monday asking for the case to be sent back to circuit court after a newspaper delivery driver reached out to Steve's legal team, saying he had seen Bobby, Avery's nephew, and the older brother of Brendan in the early morning hours of November the 5th, 2005, before Teresa's dark blue RAV4 was discovered by authorities, pushing that same vehicle toward the junkyard on the Avery property with an unidentified older man. The delivery driver, Thomas Sawinski, stated in a sworn affidavit attached to the new court filing that he drove by a shirtless Bobby and the older man, described as being in his 50s or 60s, on his way to deliver newspapers to the Avery mailbox before turning around his vehicle to pass by the pair a second time on his way to the exit. When he passed the RAV4 a second time, Sawinski saw Bobby try to step in front of his car to block him from leaving the property, and he had to swerve into a shallow ditch to get past him. I felt very afraid as I approached the two individuals because Bobby Dassey attempted to step in front of my car, blocking my exit, Sawinski said. I was within 5 feet of Bobby and my headlights were on him the entire time. Sawinski said he shouted, "Paperboy, gotta go," as he swerved around Bobby because he was afraid for his safety. Quote, Bobby Dassey looked me in the eye and I could tell with the look in his eyes that he was not happy to see me there, Sawinski said, adding he felt the two men were, quote, doing something creepy. After authorities discovered the RAV4 later that same day, Steve's attorneys say Sawinski realized the significance of what he had observed and immediately called the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office. He spoke with a female deputy and described what he had seen, but was told, "We already know who did it," according to the court documents. Sawinski said he provided his name and phone number to authorities, but they never contacted him about the case. The case became the focus of the intense media attention after it was profiled in the 2015 Netflix series Making a Murderer, which raised questions about the investigation. Kathleen has argued that the new witness account of what Sawinski saw that morning is critical to the case because Bobby had served as the primary witness in Steve's trial, according to the Post-Crescent. Bobby told jurors that he had seen Teresa drive up to the property around 2:30 p.m. on October 31st, 2005, and begin taking pictures of his mother's van before seeing her walk towards Steve's trailer, placing Teresa with Avery the last time she was seen alive. Bobby said he never saw the woman again and left the property to go hunting a few minutes later. When he came home around 5 o'clock, he said Teresa's vehicle was gone. Kathleen Zellner argued in her filing that the state suppressed the evidence of Sawinski's account and did not give Avery a fair trial or allow him to mount a proper defense. According to the motion, Sawinski's testimony could have been used by the defense during the trial to destroy Bobby's credibility, establish that Bobby was directly involved in the case, and establish that he planted evidence to frame his uncle, Steve. Sawinski described the unidentified man he saw that morning alongside Bobby as a male in his 50s or 60s with a long grey beard, larger frame, according to the affidavit. He estimated the man was about 6 foot tall and said he had been wearing a puffy jacket at the time. Zellner said on Twitter Monday that tips are coming in about who that second person might have been. The witness provides the most important evidence in the case to date, Kathleen told Newsweek in a statement. He not only discredits the state star witness, he links this person to the murder. The police ignored his tip. Stephen would not have been convicted if this evidence had been known. The latest filing in Steve's case comes after more than a year of filings between prosecutors and the defense as part of an appeal. The Post-Crescent reports an appeal court has yet to hold a hearing on the matter, and the status of the appeal was listed in November as awaiting opinion decision after it had been submitted on briefs, according to court records obtained by the paper. Now then, there is another article that Kathleen Zellner pointed out. So let's see if I can put that one up. This is from People magazine. I think this is going to be more or less the same. Delivery driver saw Stephen Avery's nephew move Teresa Holbach's car into salvage yard. New court filings claim. This is by Gabriel Chung. I feel like that there's going to be anything new in here. The attorneys for Steve, his murder trials detailed in the, I believe it's a new witness testimony links audacity to the case. As I say, I don't think there's going to be much. I think I'll just pop this in the link. After Mr. Selinsky drove by Bobby and the other individual who delivered the papers to the Avery mailbox, he turned around and drove back to the exit. The filing reads, when he reached the RAV4, Bobby attempted to step in front of his car to block him from leaving the property. Selinsky says in a signed affidavit attached to the motion, I was afraid for my safety, and that he had to swerve into a shallow ditch in order to drive around Bobby. I don't think there's going to be much else here that we haven't already seen. So, as I say, I'll pop that in the description later. But what I will do is go back to that tweet where people have been inundated Kathleen Zellner with suggestions as to who the individual might be. And I've had a lot of people send me the same picture of an individual. And at this point, I think you have to exercise a certain amount of caution. Whilst, yes, this is from the point of view of possible freedom for Steve and Brendan, this is very exciting news. Not so exciting for some people. But we must remember that in the same way that the presumption of innocence was denied Steve and Brendan, we cannot go naming people. I will share you a picture that has been sent to me, because there's no harm in sharing a picture of somebody who certainly could match the description of the person that Kathleen Zellner will be looking for and will have received tips about. And certainly looking at this picture of this particular gentleman, certainly 6 foot tall. I'm not too sure what the height of this vehicle is. It looks a pretty high off-road vehicle though. 6 foot, yep, possibly. Interesting to know what vehicle that is this gentleman is standing beside. However, he does have a long grey beard, quite stocky, and has a puffy jacket. I don't know when this photograph was taken. What we have heard, a lot of us have heard though, is that this is an individual who had a phone conversation with Bobby Dassey on the 31st of October. So, as I say, we have to be very careful. We don't want to be destroying anybody's presumption of innocence. But it would certainly seem as if the noose is tightening around those responsible for the demise of Teresa and the framing of Steve and Brendan. So yes, it is fairly exciting stuff. As a lot of people have said, you know, Eric Jose would have been very, very excited about this, as we all are. But we just have to be careful. We just have to be cautious, not to do to other people what Manitrock Sheriff's Department managed to do to Steve and Brendan. So I think that's all I wanted to share with you just now. Just to say that even today I've had a few more people confirm their availability for all the keep talking till they're walking. the one gentleman that I was very desperately keen to get hold of, Mark Godsey, the author of Blind Injustice. Sorry. Hopefully, I'll be doing a Zoom call with him on Monday. I'll record it, and then we'll pop that into the schedule when where we need a video to be put. And so I'm very pleased to hopefully finally get to have a chat with Mark Godsey, the author of Blind Injustice, and very, very interesting. Was a top prosecutor himself, and then went to a university where he had to be being the law professor at the university. They had an innocence project at the university which he had to take control of, and it apparently really changed his opinion. So anyway, let's look forward to that. That whole 9 o'clock Wisconsin time in the morning on the Sunday 25th through to 9 o'clock in the evening. Catch you again soon. As I say, please let's be careful about not denying other people the presumption of innocence that Stephen Brendan were denied. Okay, catch you all again soon. Bye for now.